Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a lively chat with the wonderful Ana Lopez. We'll be touching on a bit of everything: politics, family life, finances, and much more. So sit back, relax, and let's jump right in.
Hello, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Empowerment Network today, where my title for today is Fixing the System and Tax Fairness, Education Reform and the Future of Pennsylvania. A huge title, right? I know it's so much to cover, but we'll take some time to talk about it because it's something very important. I know last show we were really discussing, I guess most of the topics on all my shows is like taxes and what are you going to do, Anna? So I want to take a moment with all of you to kind of go through a plan that I just did a press release about. And I'll attach these things after the show, be attached to it later on. But I'm your hostess, Ana Lopez, and today I want to talk about some effects, something that affects like every single family in the state of Pennsylvania. Whether you live in the city or the suburbs or the mountains, we're talking about tax fairness. Sounds good? And in this topic of tax fairness, we're going to work on some education reform. It's one of my biggest passions of education. It's education. And to reform it, we must. It's not a maybe, it's a must. Because there's a new path. There's a new path that's going to be forward. Sorry, excuse me. My dog is really antsy. Hey, baby. Go. Go, my love. Hi. Sorry. My dog, Milo. I love him so much. Well, this show is where we break things down very simply and honestly, and with the solutions that are strong enough to change the future. Okay, because together we got to change the future, not just can't do this by myself. And that's why we're running in Pennsylvania for the 115th district, the House of Representatives. And I really hope that you guys tune in with me. I want you to subscribe and like so that you can listen to all my ideas, because I'm really going to be working on my solutions and focusing on all the different areas that I believe that we can really build the courage to reform and correct. All right. So step one, let me start with the truth. All right. That many people are feeling today. We're feeling that our system is not equal. All right. Our schools are underfunded. Our property taxpayers are carrying way too much of that burden. But here's the problem, is that, sorry, my dog is always distracting me. We don't talk about it enough. We're failing not because we don't have the money. We're failing because we're not talking about it. We're not connecting with each other. We're not hearing those stories of our everyday life, of how it is that we're, even with the slightest change in our taxes that go up, it takes away food from our table and clothes from our children. We can only work forward and really get to the point about the problem, right? So here we go. Pennsylvania school funding system really too heavily relies on the taxpayer, right? On property taxes. So what this means is the working families carry the weight. So seniors on fixed incomes feel the pain. Rural district like ours falls behind, and low wealth areas struggle the most, right? So meanwhile, the very highest and wealthiest individuals, people worth tens of millions or even more, they often pay a smaller share of their income than the people who work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, just to keep the lights on. I know on Facebook we see a lot of these comments, and I'm part of a Facebook group that I see comments where mothers, they can't make it. They're looking for funds and different resources to be able to help them keep those lights on, but they have 2 jobs, 3 jobs sometimes, because 1 job won't give them the hours enough to pay the bill, even on time. And they don't know how to navigate a system. And we need to get past that, don't we? So this is not about punishing anyone, all right? It's about fairness, it's about balance, it's about responsibility. And because the billionaires and multimillionaires use loopholes and special tax shelters, the burden shifts entirely onto families, everyday families. This shifts right onto us, and our children feel it inside their schools. So the education crisis, clearly and simple. Okay, put it real clear and simple. Right now, Pennsylvania has some of the biggest gaps between wealthy school districts and working class school districts than in the entire country. Okay, that means kids in one zip code get robotics labs, new buildings, enrichment programs, and kids in other zip codes sit in overcrowded rooms, aging buildings, and classrooms without full staff. Not because of talent and not because of motivation, but because of money. This is not the America we believe in, and is not the Pennsylvania we deserve. So if we want strong communities, if we want safe neighborhoods, if we want an economy that grows, we must invest in our children. And to do that, we need a new approach. So let me start with just a little bit of basics about how we fund schools here in Pennsylvania, kind of like a government 101. Let me break this down in plain language, okay? Right now, Pennsylvania funds our schools through property taxes. It's a state formula that hasn't kept pace with reality at all, with unpredictable yearly budgets that creates three major failures, okay? The first one is students are in poor districts get less, all right? Two, the property tax keeps rising and hurting families, like I mentioned before, right? Three, schools can't plan long-term because funding changes every year. You see it just closes down, and let me keep on track, okay? This is why the courts ruled just recently that Pennsylvania's system is unconstitutional. It's not broken, it's just unconstitutional. Why? Here, I'm sorry, it's just so emotional. I just feel like it's so simple, right? I'm breaking it down so simple, and to me it's that simple, but it's because we're not communicating it, and it just gets really emotional. It's like these are children we're talking about, and we just need to change that way that we view our taxes and how we invest in our children. And I guess that I'll go to the understanding that we haven't really seen those results, right? Because if you pay taxes and you see that child just open up their gift of life, and you see them fulfilled, and they're in a job or have their own business that they feel they're just so good in it. Like, I'm so good at that. And I'm sure that each and every one of us would be okay with lending that hand to that child so that they can grow and be fulfilled, wouldn't you? Well, I do believe that Pennsylvania's children deserve nothing less. So today I want to introduce you to a new path forward. It's a bold plan, okay, but it's fair, and it's entirely possible. And I think it's time to talk about a high wealth fair contribution to the Pennsylvania Education Stability Fund. It's a whole new fund I want to create. I want to create a fund, like we were talking about in our other show, in our last episode, where I forgot the gentleman's name. He said, well, how are you going to keep that, keep our education dollars, to go to education? So through a stability fund. And we could tax the high wealth fair share. It's a high wealth fair share contributions are my fancy words. I'm just going to tax the wealthy. So let's start with the high wealth fair share contribution, okay, and how it simply just is going to apply to the ultra wealthy, okay, the ultra wealthy. This means like not working families, not seniors, not homeowners, not small businesses. This will close loopholes that only millionaires can access. Only if you're a millionaire, you can access these loopholes, okay? It creates a fair, predictable revenue, okay, that does not fall on the middle class at all. It actually releases that burden through this plan. And here's the key. Every dollar generated will go directly into this education stability fund, not the general fund, not someone's pet project, and not political bargains. Okay, straight to the future of our children. The Education Stability Fund, let me explain this all together, what it does. This is a protected account. It cannot be rated or repurposed without a whole House and Senate approval. It can only be used for school building repairs, teacher support, special education services, transportation, classroom materials, technology for students, reducing property tax pressure, long-term planning. This fund gives schools what they never had. and that stability. It's a guarantee, a safety net, a predictable source of revenue that they can finally plan for the future instead of surviving year after year after year. And what this means for Pennsylvania families. Everyone who's watching right now, right? And beyond, this is a great idea that you can take to any state if they don't have this type of funding. I know when I do my, I go for, how you say, I go across, like now we're going to Texas to go into for some professional development. That's my word that I was thinking of. And it just came to me, professional development, where I go across the country to try to find new ways that people are doing things, like what their ideas are and how they're handling this situation, that situation, and how they've put their policy together. Is it effective, and how does it work out through their schools? We do this year after year. We do two professional development courses a year, and it's really productive to do those things. That's how I was able to. That's how you're able to do anything. Like I started the show, that we have to be able to come together and brainstorm, put those ideas together to really make things possible. So this fund is something that I believe is a protective thing that every state should have. I mean, we just can't wait for the federal government to come together. We can't wait for Harrisburg to figure this out. They haven't done it. That's why our courts have ruled it unconstitutional. We have to stand up and vote in people like myself that can bring these solutions to the table. These are real solutions. This is not a political thing of this party, that party. This is everyone, the human race. We need to protect ourselves and build and invest in ourselves, don't we? This tax reform is not just about numbers. Okay, our education reform, this is education reform. It's just not about classrooms neither. It's really about the future. It's about dignity. It's about fairness. It's about giving every child in every zip code the real chance to succeed. We can build that future. We can fix this system. We can stand together and we can demand Pennsylvania to work for all of us. We can demand it, and we could demand it through our vote. We can. We're not finished yet. We just started to just flip around our seats to find those good people. It doesn't have to just be a Democratic party. It can be a Republican party. If your area is mostly, Republican, that's your area. Just find a good person that is in that area, that maybe independent person that just can put them both together and not have to worry about party loyalties. Just someone who has people loyalties, that understands this, that would be able to vote for some type of bill like this. I created the whole bill. It's ready to rock and roll. Have the speech, have everything. I have tons of documents I've created for the solution, and I'm sure we'll go more into the details online. It'll be posted online. If you want to email me or reach out to me about it, and I could send you, any information you want, a phone call if you need. I'm here, I'm available. I believe this can definitely work. Like I said, not only here, but everywhere. It's just that our system here in Pennsylvania is bleeding. It's really bleeding. It needs a tourniquet to stop the bleeding. And this is the best way that we can do that, is by structuring a bill. It's not like no other. This bill, there's different attempts. There's different attempts on this that has been tried in the past. And I believe I did work up something about the different attempts that was made so far in Pennsylvania. But it didn't have the things that I had in it, because it also has, when you look at it in more detail, it has the part where if schools have already invested a big investment already in creating those building repairs, they'll be able to get that retro back to them through this bill. Let's see. Let's start with just this. I'm just so interested. I need to share with you guys the different bills that was going through something, and like history. I love history. History is so great. You love about how people people's behavior, you could read just what they're thinking of, what their dynamics are. And it's wonderful to come and you look at these bills and in their conversations. And it's a lot of digging. So this is why it's good you have a show like ours on the Empowerment Network, where I dig for you and we could talk about it. Here I got some close legislative precedents. We got Senate Bill 76 in 2019. They sought to eliminate school property taxes and replace them with higher personal income and sales tax. Doesn't really help us as I feel it should help us. We have Senate Bill 962, 2025. It proposes shift in school funding via tax reforms, including a 1.88% personal income tax. Only on us, this totally is hurting us. I don't see why there hasn't been anything about taxing the wealthy. So I said, we don't have the courage. We don't have the courage, or we better get some coverage, the courage that we need to stand up and be able to do what we need to do, because this is barbaric. You're taking away people's food. And just because you can't come up with the great plan, well, I got one for you. And I hope that you can follow it. I mean, I don't know. It's, with all the frustrations, there's, you're like, why can't you just think of this? No, it's not true. I mean, it's really tough. It's easy for me, right? It's easy for me. It has been my career for like so many years, and working, solutions out and changing systems and focusing on getting things better. And it's really unfair. It's easier for me. It's easier for me to be able to work and bring these ideas and get this together. That's just my emotions, like, so harsh, like, oh man, there's something easy to think about. It's like common sense, but it's not. I just have a lot of experience. And like I said, some of the key differences to those, I mean, I think those are the only four. Yeah, one, two, three that are currently right now that have been tried anyway. The most recent ones that have been tried. We have that long-term plan, right? I said that, increasing state aid. Oh yeah, the House Bill 2370, the 2024 long-term plan, committed to increase state funding by 5.1 billion. Oh yeah, I think that over 7 years, but has an increasing state aid, not imposing a new high wealth burdens. Which I think that's the solution. Why are they allowed to have these loopholes? I mean, I think we're more aware right now of how it is with what's that big beautiful bill, or we're more aware now, aren't we? That we need. There's so many different loopholes that these wealthy people just get to keep loop, and we get all tied up in it. We have to stop that. We have to stop it, and we need to bring up these ideas and share the ideas. I'm okay with people taking. Go ahead, please. This is going to fix the world. Because if we start investing in our kids, you say, forget about it. It'll be awesome. We'll be able to, the sky's the limit. It always was, is, and will be. We just need to build that courage, the courage to do that, to be able to stand up and use our vote, come together, give our support in any which way we can, any talents you have, any spare time you have, to come together and make sure these solutions get to where they need to get to on that floor, on that government floor, so that we could fix this system for tax fairness, education reform, for the future of Pennsylvania. I took up a lot of your time, and I could keep on same, and it has been a little bit distracting in the beginning of my show. It is definitely a holiday season, and I really appreciate you tuning in and being here with me and hearing me talk about these things. I think they're very important for us to speak about and put some time to. So I'm not sure, because if I can see those comments like we were trying to see, I have sometimes technical issues too. It's all rock and roll, right? So I need you guys to like and subscribe. And if you have any ideas of what you want to hear from me about what I think about or what my plans would be, because I told you I have tons of plans and lots of written things out. I'd love to have a plan. So let me know. Let me know. I want you all to be able to have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I would like to send you off with a little bit of my blessing, right? Until we meet again, Mondays at 4 o'clock or a little earlier or later, um, stay informed, stay inspired, and stay empowered.